Welcome to episode 12 of the Mercs Corner. And today we're going to talk about my top comic of the week, as well as there's a comic book that came out not that long ago that I really want to talk about. So let's get into it. First things first, if you like what I'm doing, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It's definitely appreciated. Definitely appreciated. So, with that being said, let's move on. The cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, the comic book of the week. So, my comic of the week goes to none other than Superman issue 7, or the Legacy 850th issue, a little bit oversized. First thing I gotta say though is I gotta admit I still prefer the Jamal Campbell artwork. I thought that just absolutely works perfectly with Superman, Joshua Williamson. I just felt like that made a near perfect combination. I mean, just my opinion. But I will say that this artwork has grown on me in issue 7 a little bit better, a little bit more than it did in issue 6. Yeah. So that being said, uh, Gleb Melkinov, yeah, I feel like I mispronounced his name, but the artwork grew on me. I gotta say. Anyway, with that being said, I thought this issue was really good. I felt like it was, even though it's the second story of the Chained story arc, I felt like it was setting something up bigger, possibly for next summer. Possibly. I don't know if it's just me, but I felt like there was something at the end with Brainiac involved that I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too big. I don't know. But with that being said, Brainiac, he's involved in this. Not a surprise there, honestly. He just did he was just part of the Action Comics story not that long ago. So that, and of course, the main character or the main villain in this is the Chained. And I find this character very interesting. He's obviously very powerful, but we don't really know much of his story. I mean, we do know that Lex Luthor, for what we don't even really know why, but Lex Luthor, had him locked up. So, I mean, it was just crazy. We don't even know for how long. It was a long time, but it's just intriguing to me because I want to know more about his background. Why does he hate Lex Luthor so much? Aside from the fact that he kept him locked up in chains for God knows how long, and below Stryker's Island, like made this whole penitent, like this big cube prison cell for him. So I'm intrigued by that for sure. And the whole super family was trying to take him on, while at the time Superman was still chained up because from the last issue when the Chained escaped and left Superman wrapped in chains in that prison cell. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of there's just a lot of things to this book that I like. You find there's a part where Lex Luthor kind of hits on some history, where he's explaining to Lois where he realizes the good that Superman was seeing in him, but he was like pretty much a knucklehead. Didn't see it at the moment or in those moments. And I'm trying to find the page because I want to share the page. Yeah. So I mean, he's kind of reminiscing when he's talking to Lois, talking about past events between him and Superman battling. And I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a pretty cool touch. Um, and then it kind of from there kind of goes into, yeah, some more history. And Lex, he's in a hospital bed, but he wants to get out and go help Superman. Um, all in all, a great book. Lex Luthor's mother. um, all in all, a great book, man. The artwork, like I said, grew on me. I don't know how long he's going to be on this and when Jamal Campbell's going to come back, but it's growing on me. So that being said, man, I know I was kind of bouncing around all over the place when I'm talking about this book because, in my opinion, there's a lot of different points to hit, and I just love this issue. So Superman issue 7, Legacy 850 is my comic of the week. There is a book that I want to talk about. It actually came out a few weeks ago, and it is A Haunted Girl. Now, I did not know this pretty much until I actually read this, but I seen the solicitation, and it intrigued me. And the fact that the cover is by Joe Quesada, that was good. Uh, I mean, I was hooked from all of that. It feels like a supernatural Halloween in the Halloween mood kind of spirit. That time of year. So I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to pick it up. It's a 4-issue miniseries from Ethan Sachs and Naomi Sachs. Now, what I did not know until after I read the issue, and then there's a letter in the back from Ethan Sachs right here, where he kind of talks about his focus or his intentions and inspirations, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, for this book. Now, I didn't know that Ethan Sachs, his daughter, there's some elements to this story that have true personal elements because his daughter had dealt with depression, and apparently she was mental health issues and suicidal at one point in her life. And this story deals with some of those issues. And I just want to read this one part because I thought this was really, it kind of really touches you a little bit, So he kind of goes through a little bit of a back history, talking about his daughter in this, but then he goes on to say 4 years later, through therapy, perseverance, and growth, my daughter is in a place where she could write the story with him. She made it much more personal, much more authentic, better. And in the story, you can definitely see the main character. I think she's 16, and her name is Cleo, and she's like a Japanese American 16-year-old girl, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I think she was adopted or like a foster kid, I think, in the story. But man, she's dealing with some real issues in this book. I mean, she's seeing things and she's hearing things, and I mean, it's freaking her out. And understandably, the way the story is told, I can definitely understand that. I can see where that's the case. Now, her father, she's in a mental institution, and her father comes to visit. It's her birthday, and he's trying to do the best that he can to make her feel good, like be there for her and show her that she's loved. And like you can see right here, like it's her birthday. He's trying to bring her a cake, and it's it's just something amazing, man. And I just really want to touch more on not necessarily the story, but Ethan Sachs and Naomi Sachs. Um, First of all, I don't know how they could find the strength, especially his daughter, to get so in touch with them, with their personal life and their story. And I know a lot of comic book creators, especially writers, they integrate touches from their personal life into stories and things like that. I get that that happens. How often does something so sensitive and so personal get involved into their stories? I don't know. But here, he's pretty open with it. And I get it. You want to spread awareness and make people more aware and more sensitive to the mental health and all of that, which is perfectly good. It's a good thing. And so like here she gets out of school. She's out of the mental institution, and she's trying to get back into her normal teenage life, going back to school. And her friend right here, she's just Cleo. She's just not feeling it as much. And you're just a little different when you battle depression, especially if it's a deep depression like apparently she has. You can see, and like her friend right here, where I showed on the other page, she's kind of like reminiscing back in the day before I guess she had hit depression so hard, maybe, and just kind of reminiscing on when they had fun, and she's at the lunch table at school, and she's just not feeling it, man, and you kind of really feel bad for her, man. I definitely did. You know, it's just it's nothing easy, man. And she's waking up in the middle of the night because she's scared and she's seeing these spider things and whatnot. And now it does, like I said, it does touch some issues where it's sensitive, man. And like here she is. It looks like it appears as if she's about to say screw it and just jump off this ledge, and then this ghost, whatever thing, kind of comes out, and that's kind of where the issue ends. So and it'll carry on in issue 2. Now this is a 4-issue series. I'm definitely on board. And you know and this is the letter that Ethan Sachs wrote at the end of the story. um yeah, man, I will say depression is nothing to take lightly, and sometimes it's hard for people to notice it in others. Some people hide it really well. um just your friends, your family, anybody, just keep them close, man. Keep them close. I've had family members that dealt with it and still deal with it, and it's nothing easy. um yeah, so in this book, even though I did not realize the depth of it until after I read it and read Ethan Sachs's letter in the back of it, I didn't realize it was going to hit. I didn't realize it was going to hit so hard the way that it did in my emotions, um, and I felt like a connection to it because of the mental health and the depression and all that my family, some people in my family. I just lost a cousin earlier this year to suicide because of depression. So yeah, this definitely it hits home, man. So I Ethan Sachs, man, and Naomi Sachs, both of you. Like it's an incredible. I can't say this enough, and I'm probably repeating myself at this point, but it's an incredible amount of strength to be able to write this, and not only write it because you didn't even have to say that it has personal touches to it, and you didn't even have to mention the issues with that Naomi apparently had with mental health issues and possibly suicidal. He wasn't really too clear on that. Maybe I'm assuming so. You didn't have to mention that. You could have just left the story as is and just let it ride. But the fact that you mentioned it, that took a good amount. It took a good amount of courage. I'll admit it. So yeah, man. If you have not checked this out, man, please, please check it out, man. The story itself is amazing. I thought the story was good, but it wasn't exactly the story that drew me in so close. I mean, it did, but yeah, so it wasn't exactly that, but definitely check it out. Highly, highly, highly recommend. This is issue 1. Issue 2 is coming out next month. It's a 4-issue series. Definitely worth it. So check it out. There you have it. Episode 12 of the Mercs Corner is in the books. Yes, it is. So, like I said, if you like what I'm doing, if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one.